And along with my partners, Maguire and Devin Koep, we are here presenting our College Park Scholars Science and Global Change Search for Solutions presentation. The solution that we are presenting is the use of nuclear energy, which is not often talked about in the mitigation of global climate change because nuclear energy has very bad press going for it. I'm going to be talking about some of the reasons that nuclear energy can be very beneficial towards mitigating global climate change, and then later my colleague Sean will be talking to you about some reasons that it might not be. Nuclear energy, to get our terms straight, is the process by which nuclear materials fission in order to produce heat. Typical nuclear generators use that heat to boil water, which then goes through a more traditional steam generator. The reason that nuclear energy is very beneficial is because it uses much lower rates of carbon dioxide and has a lower death per kilowatt hour figure associated with it. What this means is that nuclear reactions have very little to do with greenhouse gases. There are different things associated with nuclear energy that do produce greenhouse gases, but this is at a much lower rate than coal, oil, and other more traditional forms of energy production. Additionally, coal mining, producing oil are all very dangerous and have a number of casualties associated with them. Nuclear energy, despite what you may have heard about such incidents such as Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island, and other accidents, has a very low casualty rate. A study done by NASA showed that ultimately, over the last 40 years, barely 5,000 people have died from various nuclear energy producing related accidents. And ultimately, over the last 40 years, nuclear energy being used has saved approximately 1.84 million lives by replacing other forms of energy. Additionally, it has prevented approximately 64 gigatons of carbon dioxide from being released into the atmosphere. Looking at different models of what might happen if nuclear energy was to be more frequently used, they predict that up to 7.04 million lives may be saved over the next 40 years, and another 130 gigatons of carbon dioxide could be prevented from entering the atmosphere if nuclear energy was more frequently used. Clearly, as both a benefit to society and a large and powerful tool for mitigating the increase of climate change. Now, my friend and colleague, Maguire, will discuss with you some of the difficulties or challenges that nuclear energy presents.
So, while there are clear benefits to using nuclear energy as opposed to other forms of power generation, it is not without risks. The two primary risks that we have to worry about are nuclear proliferation, which is people getting a hold of nuclear materials and using them for various nefarious deeds. People usually think about regular nuclear weapons, but nuclear weapons are incredibly hard to make and require more than 20% enrichment for the uranium used. For a normal power reactor, you get about 3 to 5% enrichment, which is nowhere near enough. And enriching is very difficult, so more often you would have to worry about a radiological dispersal device, more commonly known as a dirty bomb. However, there's a lot of ways to counteract them, as they're more or less just a regular bomb that happens to throw a little bit of radiation out. So any of the other bomb detection methods really limits that risk. However, another pressing problem is the disposal of nuclear waste. Currently across the country, there are a bunch of different facilities for holding waste. There's been work done on centralizing it all into Yucca Mountain in Nevada, but funding was cut for that in 2009. So we need to still look for better solutions. However, the risks are far outweighed by the benefits that are allotted due to the use of nuclear energy. Thank you for your time. This has been Maguire, Devin Koep, and Jacob Shpiece for CPSP 219G. Thank you.